guys, this is Oday Zaher, and today I have an interesting interview with Chris Guillebeau, who is present today in the Sharjah Entrepreneurship Festival. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
And, I want to ask you first, how did you find the festival so far? How is it?
Well, it's a big honor. I'm very happy to be here. I've been to the UAE many times, but I think this is actually my first time to give a talk and to interact more directly with a lot of students and entrepreneurs and just some interesting people. So I've had a great experience so far.
Perfect. During the book signing, you had some very enthusiastic people.
They were enthusiastic. It was really interesting. I mean, all the students are coming up and telling me their ideas. Some of them have side hustles already, which I think is so great.
It's actually picking up there. You know, having
a
side hustle, even in this region, it's picking up.
I'm glad. I'm very glad.
Yeah. So in your talk, when you had the 30-minute speech, you were talking about your new book, the Side Hustle book, and in the book, first of all, before we even get into the book, why should people side hustle? Why the word side hustle?
Sure. Well, I think, not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Not everyone wants to own a small business. You can have a job, and you can have a good job, and that's fine, but I think everyone needs more than one source of income. I really believe that is good for you. It brings confidence, it brings security, gives you a backup plan if something goes wrong, and it's also just nice, it's nice to be able to look at something that you've made and say, I'm getting paid for something that's apart from my paycheck. I see over and over, it's very empowering to people. So my goal is to help people get to that point sooner than they might if they pursue a traditional entrepreneurship project. Like I want to help them get to that point within 27 days or 2 months at maximum.
And when you say side, you're really not talking about actually moving it to become the next Facebook. You're just saying
exactly. Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, I'm saying this is something you can do without quitting your job or without leaving school or university. It's something you can do with the skills that you already have and without spending a lot of money. So yeah, it's not about the next Facebook or the next iPhone. It's like, what are you good at? How can you help people? How can you do something that's valuable? And how can you make money from that? So that's what Side Hustle is all about. Okay,
perfect. So now the next question would be, okay, fine, side hustle, but not me. I can't do it. Can everyone do that?
I hear sometimes people say, "Oh, I don't think I'm good at anything," or "I'm not an expert at something." I really believe everyone is an expert at something, and it's important to look at all of your skills, not just if you went to university, what did you study, or what do you do for your job. Go back, what comes naturally to you that other people struggle with. What do your friends ask you about? There is something there. I know there is, and so it's a matter of just figuring out what it is. And if you've tried this before and you've failed, first of all, understand that everybody fails. You do lots of different projects and some work and some don't. That's okay. But maybe also you just didn't know how to do it. You didn't have a blueprint. You didn't have a plan. And so I'm trying to give people the plan so that they can do it.
Okay. So in the book, actually, the book says side hustle from idea to profitability, or to actually making money in 27 days. Right. So the motivation for you to actually write this book is to the point that you just mentioned, is that people maybe have the idea, but they don't know how to execute against that idea, right? So can you talk more about that motivation for you? What did you see? What made you think of
well, I think
creating that book?
Yeah, I think people have one of two problems. The first one is they don't know what their idea is.
Okay.
They're like, I don't know what I would do. So I try to help people learn to develop the power of observation, which is not that hard to learn. You probably didn't learn it in university, you probably didn't learn it at home unless you had an entrepreneurial household, but it's not that hard to learn. So showing people where good ideas come from, and once you learn that skill, it's going to be very valuable to you for the rest of your life, no matter what you go on to do. Once you can begin to understand what makes for a good side hustle idea. So that's the first half, and the second half, just like you said, idea to income. Okay, if you got an idea, how do you bring that idea to life? And so I'm trying to show people what is essential. Not all the 1,000 things that you could do, not the 25 social networks you could join. That's not what the point is, right? The point is how can you got a little idea, how do I turn that into an offer, either a product or a service, and how do I put that offer out into the world to the right people so that they can pay for it? That's what I'm trying to simplify. I don't want to say it's easy, lots of things in life you have to work for, but if you're willing to work, it can be simple. I'm trying to take something that's complex and make it simple.
Oversimplifying for people, and that's actually because I live in a side hustle. This show is a side hustle.
That's great. That's good.
So the side hustle, the gig economy, and all of these things. Actually, when you said profitability or making income. It's actually execution, and then gaining that momentum of actually, oh, I made some money off of this idea. How can I make more? Or how can I invest more time and so on? So actually, to your point, that's actually 100%. I'm living that, and I see that.
That's great.
I mean, I spent maybe 18 months. During these 18 months, I was only thinking of what's the next idea, what do I do, and so on.
Right.
The minute I started executing, I started having clients, I started making money, and that's really like.
So what changed
that's why
for you? Here's my question for you: what changed? Because all that time you were thinking about it, and then all of a sudden you started.
I oversimplified it. Like, literally speaking, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna overthink it.
Good.
1, 2, 3, service, just like you mentioned in the speech.
Yeah.
It's either a product or a service.
Right.
I created a service. You guys want it? I'll give it to you for X amount of money. That's it.
So I think people listening need to follow your example.
Oh yeah, yeah, and the examples in your books as well. So now let's talk more about the actual book now. What do you talk? Let's dig deep in the book.
Sure.
So you created a blueprint for people. What is that blueprint in a nutshell?
Yeah.
And what are the steps that people usually should take
Great.
to reach the income?
So 5 weeks, 27 days. Every day you get one step. If you want to change the timeline, of course, that's fine. You can adapt it to make it work for you. But I just try to give people a structure. So 5 weeks, first week is, where do ideas come from? We were just talking about a second ago. Second week is, how do you choose which idea now? Because now you probably have all ideas all the time. So how do you know what's best for you right now?
Sure.
Week number 3, once you have your idea that you've selected, what do you need to make that idea a reality? What are the tools, resources? You need to create a website, you need to write some copy, payment plan, all that. Then week 4 is putting it out into the world. Like here, I'm actually going to put this idea out rather than just ask my friends, hey, do you think this is a good idea? That's not going to help you, right? But if you put the idea out, then that's actually, that's where you'll get some information. And then week 5, okay, with the information that you have acquired from launching your product or your service, what do you do next? What do you change? What do you tweak? What worked well and what did not work well, how do you adjust? So basically day 1 through 27, day 1 is all about what's your goal? What are you trying to accomplish for yourself? And then all the way out to day 27, which is what's next? Okay? So everything in between is basically designed to get you from there to there.
Perfect. So now, do you talk about during this blueprint? Because frankly, I've been through a lot of blueprints, and a lot of people saying that this is the thing that's going to get you there. But there's one thing, and I guess this is what I saw from, and I think this is there in the side hustle, is that objections. How can you actually deal with objections?
Sure.
I guess the oversimplification is one of the, let's say, embedded things that you put into the blueprint that made this, makes this blueprint more actionable.
Yeah.
But do you think that, what would what other objections would people have during these 27 days? Because I'm afraid people are going to be stopping the second week or third week.
Of course, no, that's fair. I think people don't do this because they either don't know how to do it, or they get stuck somewhere along the way, or they are afraid, and they're afraid of failing, or they're afraid, I don't know, of getting somewhere down the road and then realizing that it's not going to work or something, I guess. So I'm trying to provide the practical tools, but also the reassurance. And the reassurance to know this is a normal journey. If you do stick with the journey, you're gonna win some, lose some, but that's okay because it's all about seeing it through.
And it's only 27 days.
There you go. Also, if it doesn't work out, what's the big deal?
27 days later,
you've
not
lost your savings, you have not, gone into debt, etc.
Perfect. So thank you so much for the interview. I would like to ask you to ask everyone who's watching, where can they find you? How can they know more about you? And any other details that you'd like to mention?
Awesome. So I produce a daily podcast called Side Hustle School.
Listener.
Awesome. You're amazing. Thank you. You can find that on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts, or just come to sidehustleschool.com.
Sidehustleschool.com. Okay, and guys, if you would like to buy the book Side Hustle, it's available in online and in the bookstores. Thank you so much, Chris, for your time.
Cheers, man.
And we'll see you soon, inshallah. Here.
Awesome. Inshallah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.